Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the revamped Sixers Talk podcast. I am joined with my co-host, my boy Mitch Koski. What's good, Mitch? Oh, hang on. I can't hear you.
God fucking damn it. I just had a good thing, but anyways, I can't wait to start this podcast, bro. Bro, we had so much to talk about already. James Harden getting back to Houston and Nick Nurse getting
There's just a lot of stuff.
There's a lot. So let's get right into it.
I mean, right now, speaking of the all season, it's good. Like you said, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, that was the first thing I have in my notes, the all season plan. Knowing, yes, which sucks is we don't have any fucking draft picks. And, yeah, the first thing, let's figure out who's going to be our next head coach. There was a couple ideas, or a couple actually candidates I had in mind that I would not totally mind. I mean, Sam Cassell is obviously is the obvious. Nick Nurse is one of them, and Monty Williams is my third. Those are my three top candidates.
Okay.
So I'm not saying, I'm not hating on Mike Budenholzer anyway, but I just don't know if the scheme fit that he runs with can fit with Joel Embiid. That's where my knock on him comes from.
I get that. And my knock with Nick Nurse, I actually said that in my video today. If you guys want to check it out, what's up, Gregor? What's up? My knock for Nick Nurse is that when Kawhi Leonard left after he won his ring, he's like, "See, I'm going to LA." The offense wasn't really the same. Let's keep it a buck. It wasn't really the same after that. So let's say hypothetically he gets traded, and there's rumors now with the New York Knicks and everything, and James Harden going to Rockets. I don't know.
And that's a good point. I mean, and that. And going into that too, especially if you go back to that after that was it going into the 2020 all season. Yeah, he wanted to go chase it back instead of you could have stayed and be a key piece. And what could be good to see it. I think if he would have stayed, I think Nick Nurse wouldn't have gotten fired from Toronto. If I'm going to be completely honest,
this whole thing with the coaching carousel, bro, like
it's ridiculous,
left and right. It's making the offseason that much better. And now that the Sixers are interviewing Nick Nurse, I'm liking it already.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of different options. But like I said, my three options is going to definitely have to be Sam Cassell, Nick Nurse, and Monty Williams. If we somehow land Monty Williams, I would have no issues with that whatsoever. I really wouldn't. Now it would be interesting what his coaching staff is going to look like.
Oh, you know what? Daniel actually said something funny. I've been saying this for the last couple of days now. No, on the bottom. Monty to Milwaukee and Bud to Phoenix. I just feel like there's going to be two coaches flip-flopping. I just got that feeling.
I mean, shit, it could be a possibility. But then again, nothing is always for certain in the NBA because, like, sometimes some teams can give you offers that, you can't refuse, basically. And, we're looking at how this team is kind of constructed, the way how this team is built, and let's be real, not the greatest, but, on paper. Yeah, we're not me, Mr. I say we're not saying he's a bad coach by any stretch of the means, but we're just talking about why I think he could have kept. I think Kawhi could have helped save his job. Was what we're saying.
I mean, if Kawhi stayed, it wouldn't make much of a difference, in my opinion.
Really,
you got to keep it up. You got to just feel like the coaches are scapegoats. That's basically what it is. True. I mean, Budenholzer lost to the Miami.
That's in every single. That's pretty much in every single league, pretty much.
It is, but it's mostly becoming an NBA. Yes, because of the chip and the Kawhi Leonard triple bounce.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like Monty Williams. I always had a gut feeling he was going to get fired one way or the other. Because I mean, think about that. You had guys like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Biyombo, not the greatest, and you had good talent, just couldn't get the job done. And knowing DeAndre Ayton, he could be a guy that's, just I don't know, it would seem like it will be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and now I want to answer Daniel's comment on the bottom there. would the Rockets get Jaylen Brown? Well, James Harden, first off, he has a player option, so he's going to walk there pretty much. So I can see
Yeah,
it. I can
because he's
honestly
looking
see
for
Jaylen Brown.
what, like a 4-year supermax, if I'm not mistaken. What he's looking for.
Yeah. A coach, owner will be idiot to pay him that kind of money. I mean, come on.
I mean, we've
After
seen it.
what we all been through.
Then again, knowing that the Houston Rockets are not going to go anywhere for a few years. But looking at everything else, obviously Sixers got an interview with Nick Nurse this week. It's one of those things. It kind of gets you thinking. What can Nick Nurse, like? See, hypothetically, Nick Nurse gets a job. What can he do with this roster? With Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and then again with PJ Tucker. Got to unfortunately deal with the last year, Tobias Harris before he walks. Just thank God, because it's kind of but yeah.
So with Nick Nurse, I actually done some research because I was doing my video today and this podcast. Shout out to everyone who's in here. What's up, Ryan? What's up, everybody in Next Shift? He has great coaching experience. He coached overseas. He's coached in a college level. He coached in the G League. He has a lot of experience, and he plays a lot of the athletic young guys, which the Toronto Raptors have.
Absolutely.
We don't have a lot of young athletic players. McDaniels, Paul Reed. You could throw in Daniel House if you're being generous like me. I mean, those are the top three. So, and we might even get in a Paul Reed and Joel Embiid lineup. Can you imagine that? I've been
for me, I think Paul Reed
years.
Well, if you looked at in terms of Paul Reed's size, I think I can see him more of as a power forward than anything else because he's 6'9", under 7 feet. I really do think he would make a really good power forward, and you can have Tobias at the 3, Maxey at 2 or 1 or 2, depending on who you're asking. And we just need to need a point guard.
Maxey's a 2.
Maxey's a 2.
He cannot play. He's not a good, in my opinion, he's not a good decision making when it comes to the passing. That's why we had James Harden, who led the league in assists. So I think he's a 2. You should get a veteran point guard in free agency, no matter who that is. So,
yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, that comes down to the all season too. Like who's going to become available, or unless Daryl Morey's going to find a way to find or someone made a comment about this. Find a G League, someone that actually has a really good, talented point guard in the G League that no one really knows about.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. So nothing's really for.
There's nothing for sure in NBA. There is not. We
got nothing for sure.
The championship is over. We gotta wait. With the championship right now, it's showing you how a team is properly built. Look at Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Look at Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Lakers, you can go there. They've been better. But yeah. So if Joel Embiid had that roster with the Denver Nuggets, right?
That's an automatic championship team right then and there.
That's a championship right there and there. Yep, exactly. So,
and then this is a great question by Randy. Like, say, hypothetically, we do get Nick Nurse. What's his coaching staff going to look like? If say Sam Cassell stays, I would not mind a combination of both Sam Cassell and Nick Nurse because I think Nick Nurse could use help in some areas. I don't think he's. I've seen times where Nick Nurse kind of struggles a little bit. So I think that's why I would say keep Dan Burke around. I think in terms of the help with the defense, you need a defensive mind assistant. Now, any other assistants, I'm not entirely too sure because, like I said, that could be up. That could be up to the coach who wants to really to make his own coaching staff.
Yeah, and William, you are not wrong with the Tobias. You are definitely not wrong with Tobias because honestly, bro, he's got to go. And knowing his contract, who on earth can trade? I'm going to have a video coming out soon.
We're going to at some point
right now. So that will be out in a couple of days. So,
and that's a good point too, especially with Tobias. Though, yes, I mean he's get this all season. This is last year with this on this contract, which then again though. knowing Daryl Morey, I think he's. I mean, if we do want to trade him, you're going to have to find a way to get like multiple teams involved and kind of do like some kind of swaps. It's the same thing with James. Well, I know James Harden, like you said, declined this option because there was an opportunity potentially there could have been a sign and trade at the same time.
Oh my God, teacher got game. Tobias is like the Gardner Minshew. I am dead. Oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever heard, and I'm not
I
calling.
mean, it's a perfect comparison.
That is a very fair comparison. You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
I mean, shit, we got some decent talent, but really not enough to warrant. But then again, I've seen coaches work with less talent than what we've seen in the last few years. So I mean,
look at our talent back in 2001. We had Iverson, we had
McKee,
Mutombo, Eric Snow, Aaron McKee. I can go on and on about that.
Oh yeah, most of the team was goddamn banged up from what I remember.
That's my favorite team of all time. It's sad but true. That's the only Sixers team I saw in the finals.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, Mitch. You ain't wrong. And really looking at how this, and it's funny too. Really looking back over the years, though, we've seen. Let's be real. Congrats to a career in Andre Iguodala. Let's be real. Got to give him credit where credit is due. 4-time champ. Did what he could in Philly. Just never really. Well, I'm not saying really panned out, but just we couldn't do nothing with that. I mean, if you look at the other like the mid 2000s Sixers, I mean, like Spencer Hall, Samuel Dalembert. Yeah. Unfortunately, MCW, which I really hate to remember those teams. Oh, God.
But remember when I had Spencer Hawes on my channel last year and we were just like shooting the shit?
Yeah.
We were talking about that team and how Iverson is such a leader. And now Joel Embiid, you look at him now with Jimmy Butler on Miami, is that Joel Embiid is not a good leader. He is not, and I can hate to say it. He is not a good
it's
leader.
The truth.
The furthest he would have gotten was with Jimmy Butler when he hit that miraculously shot. I forget what game it was. But Jimmy Butler was the leader that Joel Embiid needs.
If I'm not mistaken, and this is what's at the state. No, because this is before what? This is what after Jimmy Butler left Philly.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Like you said, with that shot from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. It was with Jimmy Butler on the Sixers.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's when we still had Brett Brown. And
yeah,
that was correct me if I'm wrong. Brett Brown actually had beat his ass in the post.
Yeah. But and then that was the year. Randy, are you still in here? That was the year the
yeah, we should have paid Jimmy, but we chose Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris.
We did not choose. Jimmy Butler wanted out. He did not want Ben. He did not want Ben Simmons. He did not want Brett Brown. It's just like we had to. He was already gone. We weren't going to pay him. He was like, "Bro, I'm out. See it." So we had to give Tobias that contract, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah, we all did.
Don't even get me started on the rest of that team. God damn.
Yeah, it's been and it's funny. Speaking of Harden, I mean, Harden, we did talk about before, he declined his option. He did really kind of did talk about his future a little bit. At the same time, it's less like, when people are asking, like, where is he going to go and stuff like that. It's just like, like me and Mitch said, like, as Mitch said, it's like, honestly, wherever he goes, we could care less.
He's going back to Houston. They made an announcement today. It was Keith Pompey.
Yeah,
it was expected of him to go back to Houston. So it looks like he's going back to the Houston on a player option. I want a sign-in trade, but I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think that's going to happen either way because I think this was his last.
Yeah, sign-in trade. That's basically what I said for Jalen Green.
And that's a good question too. It seems like Tobias will never it seems like the always one that's escaping. That's a very good question, which I really already thought of because we've seen like Embiid getting the criticism. There's a lot of other guys getting criticized, except for Tobias Harris.
Because of the contract. Because you don't want to say negative or criticizing someone you're paying the max contract for. I mean, it's a worse contract, and you can't really say anything about it. Like, Daryl Morey's like this. Hands behind his back, handcuffed. He can't say anything. He's stuck. He can't say anything.
For one more year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, what up, Raph?
What up, Raffy? But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I know Mitch. I actually had this in my notes. I don't think you really paid attention to this. PJ Tucker already regretting leaving Miami to become here in Philadelphia.
I did hear about that. Yes, I did.
I'm thinking, and I told Key this too. She literally just facepalmed when I told her. So it's like, well, and I forgot what she said. I mean, I think she said, said now you want to say something that you regret leaving Miami, come to Philly. It's just like,
The only reason he did it was because Daryl Morey wanted to build the Houston 76ers. He wanted all the Rockets, Montrezl Harrell, Daniel House, PJ Tucker, James Harden. That's why he came back for those guys. That's why he came here. But now you regret it? That's up to you. You got your ass.
that's
paid,
on you.
bro. You got paid. So that's another reason, too. He got a bag.
Yeah. And
yeah. How in the frick does Harden think? Who the hell knows?
Exactly. Like who knows at this point? And speaking of Embiid, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Then again, even we had draft picks, we couldn't draft for shit anyway. So I mean,
hell no.
So it's so
now we can't draft this year, and this draft
because of that damn tampering.
Yes, because of tampering and James Harden trade. But this draft class is stacked. I love this draft class. You got Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, Scooter Henderson, Grady Dick. I can go on and on. And yes, the guy's last name is Dick. Pause. I can go on and on about that.
Again. I mean, you got some sleepers, and like Cam Whitworth is also as a sleeper in this draft class.
Yes, Nova. Yeah,
even though let's bro, the men's that was a season that I want to forget as a Nova guy. But going back to Joel Embiid, though, like it just seems to me, ever since he got that Supermax, like he's getting very lazy and complacent. And if you looked at this press conference, I know a lot of people said, like he pretty much threw the team under the bus, which let's be real, that's kind of like a pattern the last few years with him. And quite honest, like I really, hopefully the Sixers can actually get a nice head coach. And I threw out a bit of a stretch to Keys, like just give Dawn Staley a call from South Carolina because I know she could probably put this damn team in shape because she's a Philly native after all.
Yes, William, it's the mixture of the Tucker and Howe tampering and the James Harden trade. James Harden costed the Brooklyn Nets picks, but thank God from Phoenix, they got back-to-back picks, 20 and 21. So the Nets are sitting pretty right now. We're
doing shit.
We're doing better than the LA. Sorry for the mixed sports, but we're doing better than the LA Rams at least. The LA Rams built everything. Now they're in dead last. They can't even do anything.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, looking at how this team is going on, it's just like, and there's some guys I really want to see this team like give an opportunity to. A guy like Matt McClung, who, let's be real, you had superstars don't want to participate in the goddamn dunk contest because let's be real, that hasn't really.
Now, the whole thing with Mac McClung is kind of interesting. You guys know I've been following him ever since college. So, Rutgers, Georgetown, Allen Iverson camp, you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
He's not that good to be an NBA player. He is not. I hate to admit it. Mac McClung is a good player for the G League. Could he blossom and turn into something? Yes. Right now, no. And people are telling me he will get more minutes than Korkmaz. Korkmaz is not getting any minutes. He's not getting anything. So everyone will get more minutes than Korkmaz. Like, jeez.
Yeah,
I love McClung. I fucking love that kid.
But I like I said, and that's a good point too. I mean, look, I don't think he's going to be a full-time starter in the NBA, but I would not mind him coming off the bench when you really need to. Like he's kind of the kind of guys I want to see, like in case of emergency. Because let's be real, this bench I want to see like a complete overhaul. But well, then again, you got Daniel House Jr. coming off the bench. You also have McDaniels coming off the bench. Try to build around with those two because I think they're still solid. And Jaden Springer, though, I like what I've seen out of him. Even though I was not a huge fan of the draft pick, but I've seen this kind of the upside this kid has out from Tennessee.
Yeah, with Springer, I'm telling you, if we get Nick Nurse, we're going to get some more Jaden Springer because Korkmaz will be gone. We got a lot of one-year players who will be gone. So it'd be nice. And people are saying, let's just rebuild, blow it up. Honestly, I wish I can say that. I wish
but
I can, but with this guy, with him right here, Joel Embiid, he might get, if he gets traded, then you have to blow it up. Like the Knicks already talking about trading for him.
I mean, shit. I mean, what do they have to offer? That's
What do they, if for Joel Embiid, this is who I want. Jalen Brunson, Obi Toppin, couple picks. That's it. That's all I want. Brunson, Toppin, picks. I don't want Randall. Hell no.
no. Randall can go elsewhere.
Randall.
And it's like, or yeah, I mean, hell, even if you want to throw Josh Hart in that mix too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. You can have him like be your first guy off the bench.
Yeah, we need more wings. So athletic wings is something that the Sixers do not have, and Nick Nurse
and we haven't had that in quite a while.
Ridiculous, bro. How can we?
It really is. It's like I've actually kind of made a joke. Said I told Keith this too. Said Harry Rose needs to come over to the Sixers and slap the hell out of Daryl Morey, because that's what we need right now. We need a Harry Roseman type of off season from Daryl Morey, which let's be real, I still don't have. It's kind of I don't know.
I don't know if he told you this, but me and her went back and forth about the whole Josh Harris thing, and I'm like, he needs to go. I mean, you need to start it from the top. Start it from the top.
Yeah, it starts with the owners. Because, first of all, we should at least have a lot more money to work with than what we've been given.
Yeah, and then he goes, oh, he turned things around in Devils. I'm like, okay. How long has he been? He's been there less time than the Sixers. And look at us.
Him and Blitz. Well, actually, no. The other guy actually gave up most of his majority stake.
Blitzer?
Yeah.
Yep. Don't forget about Michael Rubin, who's out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Then again,
that should talk about him. I don't know why.
No, it feels like ever since he left, he's just kind of been forgotten.
Yeah, and the bench is something we're definitely going to have to
really address.
Develop. William, you were right again, because this bench is just god awful. Dedmon needs to go.
Dedmon's already out of here anyways.
Yeah, I know. I'm just stating all the 1-year guys.
And you can get rid of Elton Brand too if you're lucky.
What is he doing?
He ain't doing jack shit. He was the one who
exactly.
And if you want to hear something bad about it, he was the one who gave Harris and Simmons that max extension a couple years ago.
Yep. Elton Brand, bro. Elton Brand.
Look, decent player, but a horrible front office guy.
He did good for the Clippers, bro. He did really good for the Clippers. Then when he came to the Sixers, he stunk it up.
Yeah.
He was the best player at the time on the Clippers. And I remember it's a new brand. I remember that going down to Ben Franklin, there was a sign that says it's a new brand. Yeah. Corny.
Very, very corny. Well, it's funny too. Actually, I'm looking at something right now. And this was 2 hours ago. This is coming from Yardbarker. I know there's a lot of news sources saying that the greatest in terms of what you want to get, but Joel Embiid, crazy enough, and Mitch made a video about Mike D'Antoni. Joel Embiid wanted to play under D'Antoni 3 years ago before Doc Rivers came available. I was
yeah. Everyone wanted to play for D'Antoni before Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers was garbage. D'Antoni's the same thing. Not a lot of people talk about this, but he is worse than Doc Rivers. He is worse. Not a lot of people talk about it. I'm like, why?
It really doesn't make any sense, because it's like we're looking at what this all season is. And quite honest, this all season is going to look bleak for the Philadelphia 76ers.
This offseason is going to be interesting, bro.
It's going to be interesting for a lot of
free agency
and draft for some teams. There's a lot to really unpack.
Yeah, but for the Sixers, it's like with this whole thing, what do you do with this guy? What do you do with James Harden? Obviously, we already know what
Well,
we're doing
Harden's
with
already
him.
packing his bags back to Houston.
Yeah,
So
Harden's gone.
yeah,
Harden's gone. Thank
good
God.
riddance.
He is gone. But they can dump Korkmaz and Shake and Devin and Harold.
And George Niang can go too, for crying out loud.
I've been saying this about George Niang for God knows how long. If he makes his shots, he is good. If he doesn't
He's
make
just
his
inconsistent.
shots, he is ice cold. He is cold as ice.
He's just
It's
inconsistent. That's
you
what
know
it
who
is.
you know what? I'm just gonna say this now. The player who I would trade Tobias Harris for, I'm still gonna make a video about this. Doug McDermott.
You know what?
Doug McDermott.
He's the
with
kind of
his
guy that
shooting
actually I wanted the Sixers try to go after the last few years.
from Creighton. Yes, that's the one
I mean,
player I'm gonna
dude's
trade for.
an underrated 3-point shooter.
Exactly. Not a lot of people talk about him. He can
'Cause
space
it's
the floor. He can knock down 10 points a night. Give
And
me
plus, too,
Doug
you could also
McDermott
bring him
or
off the
give me
bench if
Tobias.
need be at the same time.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? He plays for the Spurs. They got Victor Wembanyama, so give them more vets. Give them Tobias.
Yeah, because you think about it too, because that's a very young Spurs team at the same time.
I traded him for this water bottle.
And that's then going back to the spray with the Spurs, though. I mean, if say San Antonio wants more for Tobias, yeah, Doug McDermott could be an option.
There's like a lot of options there.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of hard to really see.
Not George Niang, but George's Niang. I forget his name, but
I say George Niang because I feel like the S feel like it's even there.
I want Doug McBuckets. That's the guy I wanted. Somehow, some way, try to get Buddy Hield. Please.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
But then again, the Pacers we don't know what direction they're going in either, so it's a possibility.
With the Pacers, you got to build around Halliburton.
Yeah, you have to, because I mean, the fact you also gave an extension to Miles Turner at the same time, who for the longest time, there's been a lot of trade rumors around Miles Turner getting out of Indiana.
Yep, exactly. And this whole thing with Harold, bro. I mean, not Harold. Turner. I like him a lot. The guy can shoot from the mid range. He can block the shot. That's the guy I wanted instead of Montrezl Harrell. And now Montrezl Harrell's a guy who just got his. What is the word I'm thinking of? This guy just got all of his steam. Like his energy is gone. Like they just beat him out. Paul Reed beat him out, and he was like, "I'm done." That's basically it. He was beaten out.
I mean, if you think about it, yeah, it's it's just one of those things that's kind of really you have to really look at. So it's like, wait, was like in a 2-year deal, if I'm not mistaken? Or what's Harold?
Harold, 1 year.
1 year. I thought it was 2 years.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, so it's definitely we might be seeing a MB Paul Reed type of lineup at the 4 and 5. But
if we have Tobias Harris, Paul Reed's gonna come off the bench. I hate to say it. I wish it was Tobias Harris. Get rid of Tucker too. The contract. We are handcuffed by these contracts. We're handcuffed. We can't go anywhere. We are done with these contracts. Like D'Anthony Melton got a good contract. He deserves it. That's the only bench guy I would keep. Him.
Yeah, and build around D'Anthony Melton.
Him. Paul Reed, I would keep Daniel House because he did spark.
And Jalen McDaniels too. That could be your easy solid 4 right there off the bench.
Jalen McDaniels is actually kind of interesting because he did not perform in the second round. He did not perform well in the playoffs, period. So Doc Rivers made the only adjustment by putting in Daniel House. And look what he did on the defense, and look what he did on the transition going the other way.
Oh, absolutely.
Daniel House was so underrated. I would actually keep him.
Yeah, I was about to say Daniel House Jr. deserves because I think him and like you said, I mean, I can say this too. If you're going to have the redevelop this bench, I mean, like I said, Paul Reed, find a way to trade for Doug McDermott coming off the bench.
And by the way, he took out Gabe. I would do that.
Well, the question is, we got to see what Miles Turner's contract's looking like, and you got to see what our salary cap's looking like too.
I would blow it up, but with Embiid here, it's just like that's the biggest X factor of this offseason. What do you do with this? What do you do with MVP? That's the biggest X factor of this playoffs.
It really is. It really is. And knowing that the fact too, like we mostly invested most of our money into Joel Embiid, especially with that supermax that we given him a few years ago. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing that's
Keep Embiid and Maxey and Mountain in house, and McDaniel can read. Yep.
I mean, I would do that and try to get some like extra pieces, and because
We're
let's be
gonna
real,
have
we need a point. We need a veteran point guard. Get a Springer. I think he could be like. I think he'll. I think from what I've seen, yes. I mean, he only played in garbage time, but what I've been seeing in the G League, yes, I know the G League's not an easy thing to go off of because let's be the competition down there is not the
I love the
greatest.
G League. I love it, bro. I'm gonna watch more of it next year. Like the
Well,
G League here, it's like we have players
like you
who
could see who could be the next guy coming on his way up, and that's the reason
Yep.
why. And I've watched bits and pieces of the G League, especially for the Sixers, anyway, since I do have NBA League Pass, so I have a bit more
Right.
access to the G League.
You do.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Jaden Springer. I mean, this kid, if you can, I mean, the kid's got length. I mean, the kid's got, you know, I mean, there's some stuff I think he could work on, but with the right head coach, I think kid could be our point guard. We want to really go out and spend, well, let's be real, a ton on a vet. Because let's be real, I really don't think that. I think getting vets sometimes I feel like kind of handicaps us in a way.
Yep. Well, I got the list of free agents right here in 2023. God dang. The first one, I don't think he is. Russell Westbrook? Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So Westbrook, Harden, Middleton, Irving, Porzingis, D'Angelo Russell after the way he's playing right now? No. Kevin Love, Draymond Green, but I'm
I'm surprised Kevin Love didn't even get traded.
Let's look at point guards. Update. Irving, Fred VanVleet, Russell. I would take Beverly. Like that's the one guy I would actually take. Schroeder,
And
yes.
Schroeder, that'll be no, but I think him and Pat Bev will be good bench pieces. If I'm going to be completely honest, because if you think about it, Pat Bev, yes, as an offensive game, he isn't the greatest, but this dude, in terms of defense, well, this dude is great. Is good on defense, so I would have no issues with that.
What about damn, I said his name. Come on,
Hey,
what
Jeremy
is it?
Grant's
No,
well,
I'm talking
he's a
about
power
guard.
forward.
Dragic.
Goran drop.
Dragic.
Ooh.
No, William. Yeah, William. Yeah. Why don't you want Beverly? Like he has the hustle. He's the guy you want on your team, but you don't want to play against. Kind of like a Draymond Green. So no Bev, no Brooks. Yeah, I don't want Dylan Brooks. No.
Nah, Dylan Brooks.
No Draymond Green. No.
Well, and then the downside to that, because Pat Bev's going to be 35 very soon.
Yeah, that is true because of his age. But
I mean, another guy I think people might consider Reggie Jackson from Denver, the Denver Nuggets.
Reggie Jackson is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'd rather a pass first guard. That's what James Harden was. He was a pass first guard.
I mean, you still got DJ Hawkins. He's only 35. Fuck, that was a lot younger than
who?
DJ Augustine from Houston, but he's already old as well.
I see Derrick Rose here. I wasn't gonna say, hey yo, a Sixers legend, Raul Neto.
Oh, don't forget too. You got MCW with the Orlando Magic.
Bev is crazy. What is up, halftime? I'm going live with you all weekend for all 3 Phillies games, so it should be fun. Yep, Greg. Yep, that is halftime.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Yep, all good.
So, in terms of the point guard class,
so wait, got some halftime. Are we going all the way still?
What up, Jerry?
All the way halftime. Okay. What up, Jerry?
Um, yeah,
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 William,
the
he will find more gems, but here's the thing with Daryl Morey. What has he done ever since the Rockets?
Raz hasn't done really much,
Bingo. That's another reason why we should fire his ass. That's
and
another
not
reason.
just. And the question is, who do you replace him with? That's the
The,
biggest question.
one of the guys from Denver. One of those guys from Denver. I don't care who. One of those guys, players. Clearly, they know how to build a roster.
Yeah, true.
They clearly know how to build a roster.
But I'm looking at spot tracking right now because I think we could also have like a two-way player at the same time. I mean, that could really help out. I mean, like you said, and Bruce Brown it could be an option.
Bruce Brown, he's not leaving. They're not going to have that guy leave. No. Halftime, we're not going to.
No, absolutely not. I think another guy
Halftime.
I would not mind having Karis LeVert from the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Harris LeVert is nice. It's nice. I would definitely like some
and he's an
Karis LeVert
unrestricted
for the
free
bench.
agent this year.
This free agency class is nice. I'm thinking about doing a live stream like later on
Well, the
down the
question
line.
it depends on what day when free agency starts because there's another guy. I think a lot of times I think Sixers fans are not really talking about that they may want Kelly Oubre from the Charlotte Hornets.
Kelly
I think he's
Oubre,
another.
he can score, and okay, more females will go to the game, so there's a plus.
I forgot about that.
How can you forget about that? You
Troy,
want Trae Young.
Troy
Well,
Craig's too old.
Thinking you.
Damn. Yeah, well done. I mean, DiVincenzo's going to stay with Golden State. I know that for a fact because he's going to play your option.
You know what? I have a hot take.
Shit.
The New York Knicks are going to become the New York Wildcats. They're going to try to get DiVincenzo. They're going to try to get Bridges in a couple years. They're gonna try to get on Sparry Spellman. I'm telling you right now.
Is he still playing? That's my biggest question.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Because if you know, I know the owners like this, or not the owners. I know Leon Rose like this. Like I grew up with his daughter. So they are very, very close with Brunson, Hart. They're all close with the Villanova team. So will not be surprised if they get another Villanova guy this year. If they trade it up and try to get who was that Nova guy you said earlier in the draft?
DiVincenzo?
No, in the draft.
Oh,
Whitmore.
Can't Whitmore.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if they go and try to snag him. They're going to become the New York Wildcats. Yes, Alexander. Yes. R.I.P.
Look at the
yeah.
And look at the other unrestricted free agents. I mean, you got some other free agents right now with clubs and player options.
William, I am going to do that probably like in a couple weeks, probably when free agency start during summer league. I'm going to be streaming a lot of summer league games like I did last year, especially Victor Wembanyama's debut.
And I want to try to do more Sixers games because, like I said, I know for those who have not really seen much Sixers content because I've had a hard time catching up with the Sixers. I've been working so much.
Yeah, you have. I'll keep you up to date. Don't worry. Why wouldn't
I think both of us will. I want to try to do more summer games.
Why wouldn't I want Trae Young? Oh wait, I want Trae Young. Why wouldn't you want Trae Young? The guy's defense. The guy can shoot. Yes, obviously he shoot. I called him overrated when he pulls up from three like randomly, but I
mean, you guys think too, like the dude's going to be very expensive too. Like the dude wants a bag. That's my downside to that.
Yeah.
But there's another guy, if you want to have coming off the bench, Hamidou Diallo from Detroit.
Diallo,
Diallo could be a potential bench piece too if you really want to go that route.
Chandler is next Sixers head coach. LOL, make it happen. Hey, put a Jew in there.
Maybe try to take a stab at Will Barton. He's only 32. And he won't be really costing as much.
I mean, we don't have that much money to begin with. So we're going to have to make some big moves. That's why Harden, once that contract goes,
I think that will clear up some cap
If we
space.
can get rid of Tobias for like,
Dude, that's going to save it. That's going to make a lot of. That's going to clear up a lot of cap space.
Diallo is good. I like Diallo.
I mean, he's still young, so he's about to be turning 25 very soon.
I said why. We said why. Halftime.
Listen.
Wait, hold on. Are you halfway there? Halftime? Are you halfway
Where are you?
there?
Halfway there. Halfway there.
There you go. Finally, I was waiting for that. But yeah, he's clearly halfway there.
But yeah, I mean, look at most everybody else of these free agents are either restricted free agents on the two-way, or they got a player option or a club option.
Yeah. Imagine LeBron to the Sixers.
Oh, dude, who knows when that hype was a thing?
That was close, and that was one of the reasons why we traded Mikal Bridges. That was the main reason why we were trying to go for LeBron.
Yeah, and that kind of bit us in the ass, basically.
Yeah. So,
or even want to take a shot at this too. Gary Trent Jr. from Toronto. He's got a player option. And
Randy, please explain to him how bad Gary Trent is. No, I don't want Gary Trent. He is better than Korkmaz, but no. That's one of the guys I do not want. Hey, Alexander, imagine that the Warriors got past the second round.
Or if you want another bench piece, Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson is so underrated. Not a lot of people talk about him. I just please.
I mean, he's about to be turning 31 and got to play. He's got a player. Even though he's got a player option, but I wouldn't mind if we somehow look at and like I said before, this is where I think where Murray has to pull a Howie Roseman and start, try to manipulate the cap and try to do. And obviously, we need contract restructures if that's the case.
Yeah.
Obviously, restructure PJs, try to clear up some cap space. Find a way to either move on or restructure Tobias's contract into.
Tobias. I'm gonna try to find a jersey and just cross out Tobias and put ass.
I don't blame you, man. I really don't.
I'm gonna try, but there's no guaranteed there. And I'm gonna be like halftime, but be fully there, not halfway there.
But look at the rest of the Sixers overall. I mean, like I said, we had PG Tucker already said, pretty much came out and said, yeah, he regrets leaving. It's like, first of all, that's on you.
Yes.
But then again, you also blame Daryl Morey at the same time, so you can pretty much blame both on both ends. Now, we did really. This was mostly talk about who's really most to blame. For me, I'd say it's more both Joel Embiid and James Harden. Look, I would say Dark Rivers doesn't really deserve the blame, but I think he gets slightly partial.
So this is what, if you had a pie, right? Just like a regular theoretical pie. And I would give.
Are we talking about pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie?
It's your pick. Pumpkin. There you go. Pumpkin. So 50%. No. I would do 33.3 and repeating. So 30, each one of them gets 33% of the blame.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I was going to say 50 on Doc Rivers because I hate the guy. But if I'm being realistic, all three. 30. Hey. And then you can put 0.1 for halftime because he was being so dang positive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, here, let me ask you this. Any other head coaches that you're looking at? Any others? Because Kenny Atkinson is one of them.
Oh, I forgot about Kenny Atkinson. I'm surprised he doesn't even have a job yet.
Kenny Atkinson, Mark Jackson. Those are two. And Sam Cassell is three.
But yeah, Monty Williams, Nick Nurse.
Yep, those are the usual ones. But
Kenny Atkinson, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
A lot of people are talking about Kenny Atkinson, bro. Like nobody. Did you see what he did with that Brooklyn Nets team? Bro,
I think that was a really good Brooklyn Nets team under Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, they overachieved with him. That's basically what happened when you have a good head coach. They overachieve. Did our players overachieve? No. Did our players do anything besides Embiid? No. Well, Embiid didn't do anything to express that.
Yeah, yeah, that's contradictory.
Yeah.
But Kenny Atkinson, though, that'd be an interesting choice if that was the case with the Sixers, though, because then again, though, what's his type of style? Is he offense or defense? That's my
I think it's a little bit of both.
God. If you can get a coach that can do both, oh, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah,
Because that'll be let's be real, don't stick with the one sided at the same time. And I think also too, he actually did really some good wonders with the Golden State Warriors too when he was there as well.
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson is a guy I would want. He's a guy I would want.
I would not mind that
give him
at all.
An interview. Please give Kenny Atkinson an interview. If you don't get him, like it looks like we're not going D'Antoni now because James Harden's now gone. So
yeah.
that's a plus. So, you know what? I have a conspiracy theory because Nick Nurse was announced last night as getting interviewed for a head coaching job.
Okay.
And then today, it came out saying that James Harden expected to leave.
So that
I don't think he liked Nick Nurse. I don't think he
because
liked
I think it's somehow James Harden say it's D'Antoni, 100%.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Because
or he really wants to play for Ime Udoka.
You know what? That's a good point.
Why Jaylen Brown may want to go over there.
And not to mention too, another kind of
number one option. Yeah, he will be the number one.
Yeah, because Boston they got to pay both.
Yeah.
The question is who wants it more.
Now they have the 4th pick in the draft. They're going to take one of the Thompson brothers. So.
Yeah, they're the most talked about twins in this draft class, out behind Scoot Henderson, and Victor Wembanyama.
But if the Rockets got the 1st pick and they were going with Victor Wembanyama, Harden would have left this. Jaylen Brown will want to trade. I'm telling you, a lot of stars will want.
They might want to go to H-Town.
Yes, a lot of players will want to go play with Houston.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, with the Sixers going into 2020 this off season, because let's be real, it's a big test for Daryl Morey right now.
Yeah, this is why I think he should have been fired, but he's being put to the test right now. So Morey is put up or shut up. That's basically what it is. Actions speak louder than words.
Just don't say you're going to do it. Do it. There's no trying.
On that freaking press conference, bro. I was watching with my dad.
Oh, I didn't watch it, so
yeah, smart move. Because me and my dad were like, "Why are we watching this?" And then I had to watch.
So actually, speaking of Daryl Morey, I actually put up an article from Clutch Points, which I did. I do a lot of reading from these guys, anyways, because they got some good guys over at Clutch Points.
They do.
This article is titled 5 Early Sixers Trade Targets in the 2023 NBA season to help Joel Embiid. And this was written by Sam DiGiovanni. This was for this from yesterday. Pretty much said the Sixers all seasons under once again losing the second round. I mean, that's kind of given the last handful of years. But look, fuck off. But there's this one section that's pretty much saying, quote, using the big contract of Tobias Harris as a trade chip could give Philly the chance to make a big splash. Using smaller contracts could also work. Though Philly will have to make sure it hones in on the right targets due to its lack of available picks to trade. And obviously the 3 early trade targets Sixers consider, like you mentioned, this dude, Buddy Hield, is at number 5. Buddy Hield. Once upon a time, the Sixers paired MP with the greatest shooter JJ Redick, which I do think that would have been.
Oh, don't even get me started on JJ Redick being the head coach here. Don't.
Nah.
Your buddy Tyler wants JJ Redick over Nick Nurse.
I'd rather I would rather have Nick Nurse or Kenny Atkinson, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But Hield, who is second in threes made this season, but only behind Klay Thompson, can comfortably shoot the 3 ball in a variety of ways. He has some mobility and handles to take attack closeouts and just fine and shoot with the hand in his face, which many Sixer shooters were unwilling to do. While he isn't the most ferocious defender and is limited on offense outside of shooting, that one of these good. Okay, I would not have no issues with that. Number 4 is Delon Wright.
Ooh, okay.
I would have thought of Delon Wright. No, Wright is a versatile wing of the 3-and-D mold that could fit well in a variety of schemes that the Sixers could want to deploy. Over the past 4 seasons, the 31-year-old shot 36.7% from deep and proved to be a strong perimeter defender. That's and has an expiring $8 million contract to his name, so that should not be hard to acquire. Number 3, this ain't gonna fucking happen at all. John Collins. Apparently,
The whole thing with John Collins, bro, is ridiculous. I mean, he's always on the talks every single time, and no one trades for him. Like, no.
Well, what? Yeah. Number 2, Bohan Bogdanovic.
Oh my God, how did I forget about him?
While the Pistons weren't eager to move on from Bogdanovic at the trade deadline, they could move on from him from the offseason. Plenty of teams should show interest in it. The Sixers be one of them. Obviously, shot over 40% from 3 in the 4 of the last 6 seasons. Even this last year with Detroit, roughly half of the shots would come from beyond the arc over the past few years. With the ability to score, can make up his own head. Make his own passes. Also, a solid pick and roll partner, which will be nice to have.
I like that. So who's won?
Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah,
I think he might be. I think he might be staying with Utah.
He's gonna stay in Utah. The most improved player. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would not mind that, bro. I would not mind that. But I'm really Bogdanovic. I like.
That's Bogdanovic and Buddy Hield, I would not mind at all.
Buddy Hield, Bogdanovic. I'll take Bogdanovic.
Even Delon Wright, if he was there too, I mean, you have that 3-and-D type of player in the versatile wing.
We just need wings. That's basically it. This league is athletic wings. We were we were like in the bottom of athletic.
Yeah, we were in the bottom of the barrel.
We were bottom of basically everything.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. It is. And I was going to make a food joke when you said about wings.
Send me that website. Send me that link. DM it to me.
I got you.
Perfect.
Because it's like that's something, with the all season underway, that you have to take into consideration like who they want to pursue. Like you said, Delon Wright, Buddy Hield, or Bogdanovic.
I'm surprised none of them had said. Who did I say before? McDermott.
Doug McDermott.
I was surprised they didn't say that. So, oh, wow. Whew. So many people are talking about Jim Brown is going off right now on Twitter.
Yeah, that's like the biggest talking point. But
yeah. So,
but outside of that, I mean, overall, like we said, the Sixers got a lot of work to do.
You mean you were halfway there?
And well,
back.
Leave it on a prayer. But
he's gonna kill me for that one.
But and to be quite honest, though, it's it's gonna be interesting to see what the Sixers are gonna do. Not just the Sixers, but just the NBA in general.
The NBA in general, the off season is one of my favorite times. It's it used to be the All-Star weekend. Well, that sucks now. So it's the number 1 is the draft lottery. Number 2 is the draft. Number 3 is the championship. And number 4 is the off season.
Absolutely.
That's my favorite.
And the off season, though. Well, speaking of that too, I'm not gonna do like much. I would say NBA all season content, but I'm going to be more focused with the WNBA, which is coming up actually later on tonight and tomorrow night as well.
What's tonight?
Obviously it's me. Not during the WNBA night, but me and a few others going to do the Heat and Celtics game 2.
Yeah, but you said WNBA off.
But my Aces open up tomorrow afternoon against the Seattle Storm, so I'm going to be doing a lot more coverage.
Okay.
That's what I normally would do once the NBA season is done.
What up, Sleeps?
What up? Yeah, but looking at that overall, though,
you're going to be down 0-2, buddy. You're going to be down 0-2 after tonight.
I'm guessing he's
He's a Celtics fan. He's a long-time
right.
supporter of mine. He's a Celtics guy. So shout out to
Yeah,
him. Shout out to his guys over at Team Hold. But your Celtics are losing tonight.
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But outside of that, though, man, it's going to be like you said, the Sixers, they need to do a lot of work. Because we need to clear ball a ton of cap space.
It's the cap space. It's the Embiid situation, Harden situation.
There's a lot of situation.
Like, and I'm here for it all, bro. I'm covering it all this offseason because this offseason, man, it's gonna be
very interesting.
So I can't wait for that. And guys, this is gonna be a bi-weekly thing. So it's gonna be every other Friday, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
On the days that I have off.
Yeah. Yeah, because my guy here got a full-time job. So
now they switched me to full-time right now on my current right now.
Yeah, so you're full-time. That's a full-time job. Right?
Yeah, after they had me as part-time, which they shouldn't have been, but that's a different situation entirely.
But hey, a lot of good things. I got a lot of guests in mind for this podcast.
But I'm going to say next week we're going to definitely get Sean Bernard on one of these shows as well.
I can get him easily.
We were supposed to have him on today, but he had something else coming up. So actually, we might.
I work with him on the painted lines on the edge of sports. So
okay.
I know a lot of people, and actually, bro, I'm having John Johnson come back on mine.
I saw that.
So I'm having him come back on mine. Maybe we could swing it and put him on this. But,
and kind of get his take on this.
Yeah, we can swing it. But yeah, guys. So a lot of big things for this podcast, bro. But hey,
absolutely, yeah. There's hardly ever there was hardly any besides there's hardly any Sixers and kind of just a bit, talking over. It's like kind of like our different head coaching options. Nick Nurse getting an interview with the Sixers. Crazy coaching carousel and all that stuff. But honestly, that being said, like I said, you're probably going to see me and Mitch again for the NBA all season, depending if I'm not working throughout the entire all season.
I have this podcast now. I got the pick and roll. You'll be seeing me a lot for basketball this off season.
Oh, football, absolutely.
Eagles, you got me for Cool Cat Mitch on Mondays. You got MK Headlines every Tuesday. So I'm putting more content, more videos for the Sixers. That's why I have this little setup now. So, and I'm going to use the green screen still. Don't worry. But yeah, I like this setup a little more, actually. It makes me more like a fan than a professional. So
yeah, that's a good point as well. But that being said, like I said, we're gonna see how the all season holds up, especially for our Philadelphia 76ers after let's be a lackluster exit.
But honestly, here's the last thing I'm gonna say, then we can end it. It was predictable. This was predictable. Me and you called it from the beginning.
It's like I'll say this too. Again, I caught for some reason I caught a lot of flack for saying this a lot of times. I every time when the new Sixers season begins, like I had literally no expectations whatsoever. Because we always find a way to do good in the regular season, but when it comes to postseason time, we pretty much act like the Dallas Cowboys. We're pretty much the Cowboys of NBA basketball.
Yeah, but here's the thing for me: I predicted them in 7, but I knew deep down that they were going to lose.
Yeah, because we don't have the roster to beat teams in 7 games.
Not just that, man. It's not just that. It was the coaching. It was just everything in general not going our way.
And it's just a lack of fundamentals, too.
We ended up with the positive record this offseason. No one's talking about that. What were we?
Which is crazy to say.
We were 7-4 in this postseason.
Yeah, that is true, which is shocking to say the least.
All right, man.
But with that being said,
I got a Phillies game in an hour.
Yep, and we'll see you guys on the other side.